along with Mike Renner. I'm Steve Palazzolo, and today we're going to introduce you to Alabama's new defensive stars, and it's all brought to you by Eckrich, the official smoked sausage of the college football playoffs. Mike, we've been grading every single player on every play in the FBS dating back to 2014, and no team has churned out unbelievable prospect after prospect like Alabama. We'll get to the new guys in a second, but let's look back to 2014, 15, 16, and 17. Just all of the players that Bama has continued to just send into the NFL.
Yeah, it is truly incredible if you go look up and down the rosters. My favorite was the 2016 team, which I said at the time might be able to shut down the Cleveland Browns, who were on their way to a 1-15 year that year.
Even though they lost to Clemson.
Even though they lost Clemson in the national championship game, that team produced 8 starters in the NFL currently that have on NFL rosters. That is incredible how much talent was on that team, and like you mentioned, that's every single year, basically. They're churning out new players like that.
Yeah, and that team had guys like Reuben Foster, Jonathan Allen, Tim Williams, Dalvin Tomlinson, Marlon Humphrey. Just last year, seeing guys like Minka Fitzpatrick, Deron Payne, Rashaan Evans, all first-rounders moving on to the NFL. So it's almost like every year at Alabama, you see these names move on, and then it's like, all right, we know that they recruited well, but is this the year where they slow down a little bit? And news flash. 2018 is not the year they're going to slow down defensively. Let's meet the new guys. If you guys have already seen our video on the best, highest graded defensive players in the nation, you'll see Bama has 2 players sitting atop the list already. It's Quintin Williams, interior defensive lineman, and Deonte Thompson at safety. Incredible start for these two through 3 weeks.
Yeah, everyone was talking about Raekwon Davis, the interior defender there for Alabama, heading into the season, him being this, top sort of prospect in next year's draft. All of a sudden, Quintin Williams, who played fewer than 300 snaps a season ago, has come in and outgraded Raekwon by a good margin there on the interior. He has been a disruptor, not in just the run game at nose tackle, but the pass game as well. That's the way football is trending, and he looks like the future, a future first-rounder at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing about Alabama defensive linemen. I think there's a lot of guys that they've had that are really good against the run, but Jonathan Allen was the one guy who rushed the passer at an extremely high level. Quintin Williams has a chance to be at that level, that Jonathan Allen level. We were talking about Jonathan Allen for Heisman halfway through his last season at Bama. I'm not saying Quintin Williams is there yet, but he's that type of player as far as the disruption he's creating so far.
Target's about 50 yards away, huh?
Yeah, it is.
I'm about to spin it right down the middle.
Oh! Bang!
Give me my million!
Now, take notes.
No way. You gotta be kidding me, man.
What are you guys doing on the roof?
We're just practicing.
Well, get off before you break your neck.
It's for $1 million.
Get off.
The Eckrich $1 Million Challenge is back. Enter at EckrichFootball.com for your chance to win.
You know she'd want that money.
Well, if we're talking about a Heisman on the defense, though, it's Deonte Thompson, because what he has done as a middle-of-the-field safety, as a deep safety in that Alabama offense, is something that we really haven't seen since maybe Clinton Dix, and maybe, I think, in my opinion, he's been better than what we saw from Clinton Dix way back in the day, because Deonte Thompson makes his ball skills for a safety he looks like a wide receiver the way he tracks the ball. He made a play again this past week against Ole Miss from the middle of the field, rolling deep. Probably should have never been thrown, but his range to go get there is incredible.
Yeah, just 3 games in, and we saw this week 1 against Louisville, not only making those plays at center field, but making them in the box against the run, blitzing, picking up a sack, covering guys in the slot and breaking up passes. Deonte Thompson has a season's worth of highlights already at safety. And, we do a lot of scouting for the NFL draft, and when we're looking for free safety prospects, it's tough to find those plays from a true center field spot, and Thompson already has a bunch, so he's been fun to watch.
Yeah, and the fact that they shut down an Ole Miss offense that has probably 2 first-round wide receivers in their own right on that team, pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's where the rest of the secondary comes in, because again, they've been churning through cornerbacks these last couple of years. Enter Trevon Diggs, Shaheem Carter, Xavier McKinney at the other safety position. All of these guys grading in the high 70s, very solid grades, and this is the next group of stars at Bama. They've reloaded at corner as well.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is I think Nick Saban had this sort of reputation for producing a lot of great college players early in his career there at Alabama. But now a lot of the Alabama guys, a lot of the names you listed off earlier, guys like Eddie Jackson, guys like Marlon Humphrey in that secondary, have actually turned out to be good at the next level. I think a lot of these guys, people are seeing that, and they keep reloading there in that secondary.
Let's go back to the front seven, because you've got guys like Mack Wilson, Raekwon Davis, and Isaiah Buggs, who graded very well last year. And this year, they're actually a step behind maybe where you'd expect them to be, and that's, again, how good Bama is. These guys aren't even some of the top-graded players, but they're very good up front with Raekwon, with his ability against the run, what Buggs did last year. Mack Wilson hits as hard as any Bama linebacker I can remember.
Oh, man.
So these guys are, complementary pieces right now, just from a pure grading standpoint through 3 games.
Yeah, they might not be grading out extremely well, but that's only because, like you said, it's been 3 games. That's a fairly small sample size. We've seen them in the past play well. This is still an incredibly talented front seven. There's a reason why they're still dominating teams.
Alabama's #1 in the PFF top 25, and for good reason. They've got a whole new crop of defensive stars led by Quintin Williams and Deonte Thompson. That's your Alabama defensive star breakdown, brought to you by Eckridge. Don't forget to pick up Eckridge smoked sausage at your local grocery store for this weekend's tailgate or homegate party. And make sure to visit EckridgeFootball.com for great game day recipes and to enter the season-long $1 Million Challenge.